from the Ed Puzzle yesterday. Also, if you have your phone and I see it, remember it's mine through the end of the day. So you can go put it in the cubbies or you can risk it. But if I see you on it, you don't have it until after SLT. Saying. I don't know who it's going to be. Someone's giving me their phone this period. I know it's going to happen. Because someone's going to forget and they're going to take it out. And I'm going to say, give me your phone. Should have put it in the cubby. It's going to be someone. My money's on Ben.
Oh, mine too.
I'm betting on myself.
You're all taking a risk by keeping it with you right now. So we'll see. All right, so we have a formula. Does anybody remember the formula from the video yesterday? Yeah. Awesome. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Remember, A is considered a leg. B is considered a leg. Who remembers the funky name for C?
It starts with A.
Hypotenuse. Good. There's two uses for the Pythagorean theorem. The first one is for finding the missing side lengths. Of a right triangle. Remember, that's the only triangle this applies to. How do we know it's a right triangle? Has a little box in the corner, or it's labeled 90 degrees. You guys have probably known since like second grade that a right triangle has a 90-degree angle, right? So that's one use. The other use is to determine if a triangle is in fact a right triangle. I believe that was one of the first examples in the video where he put the numbers in, and if it worked, then it was a right triangle. If it did not work, it was not a right triangle.
Can I just have the notes? That'd be so much easier.
No.
What is that?
What? Yeah. She said you by her friend.
Really?
Okay, so let's draw a picture. We have our legs that connect to make the right angle. We have our hypotenuse, which is the longest side of the right triangle. So A is a leg, B is a leg, and then we said C is the hypotenuse. There was a trick from the video that they talked about, so you should always know which side is considered the hypotenuse. Does anybody remember that trick?
It's across from the 90-degree thing.
Yeah, so this is actually like pointing to it. Like if you think of this as an arrow, it's actually pointing to the hypotenuse. Okay. Is that what you were going to say, Hannah? Are you? Do you need to go take a walk or something? Okay. Okay, now, here's something I need everybody to listen to very carefully because this is going to come up a lot. I'm predicting it right now. It's going to come up, and people are going to ask the same question, and I'm going to give you the same answer. When we're doing Pythagorean theorem, I am extremely particular about showing all your work. Like, more than I've ever been about anything you've ever done in math class before. I am very, very particular that you show all the steps that I'm about to show you right now. If you don't show all the steps, you're not going to get all the points. They are the easiest points you could possibly get in math class by just showing the steps. I guarantee that next week, one of you is going to raise your hand and say, do I have to show all the steps? And I'm going to say, yes, I was very, very forthcoming that I will require all of the steps. Even if you get all the answer right, but you don't show the steps, you're not getting all the points possible. There's a lot of points possible for Pythagorean theorem because that's how important it is to me that you show all the steps. Everybody nod that you understand that you will be required to show all the steps. Noah, you're going to be the one that asks. I know it.
But she wrote down.
I read that.
Might be Ben. Might be Ben.
I feel like it's gonna be Maggie.
Here's the thing. If you don't want to show all the steps, that's fine. You're not going to get all the possible points.
How many points?
But why do we have to show all?
Because it's very important to me. This process can be super easy if you know all the steps. If you skip a step and then you miss it, it's like, oh man, if you just done the step, you'd have it right. Easy. Okay, so that's why I'm requiring. There's 6 points possible if you're finding the hypotenuse, 7 points possible if you're finding a leg length, because there's an extra step in there. Yes.
Is there ever going to be a shortcut?
No.
Next week already?
No. Probably the week after. Yes.
What time is class next today?
It's right up here. 12:41.
Can I check the time? With my phone.
I think my watch died. No.
It's 12. People tell me the time.
It is 12:21. You have 20 minutes left.
That is so
In this class?
20 minutes?
Can we stall for 20
Why is
minutes?
this class so long?
Can we get
Yeah, why?
Okay, so let's move on to our steps that you will be required to show. So if you're finding the hypotenuse, there will be 6 required steps.
Wait, what's it called? Hypotenuse. Will we have to draw this triangle as part of the step?
No, that'll be given to you. Well, no. You're gonna have to apply it to create a sketch of a story, by making a right triangle. But most of it will be given to you. Okay. All right. Step 1. You write out the formula. Yes, you must show the formula if you want that point. Yep. I have been very particular about this since I started teaching 8th grade math. Nobody has changed my mind. It's not worth your effort.
Why did you start teaching me math? Don't worry, I'll change your mind.
11 years ago? No, 12 years ago?
You've been teaching 8th grade math for 12 years.
Sure have.
Were you teaching anything before that?
Elementary,
What'd you get from Starbucks?
chai tea, always.
How do you know she got Starbucks?
Because her cup is right there.
Okay, next step is to put the values in for A and B. So 5 squared plus 12 squared equals, and then C squared stays like it is. Yep,
Wasn't this the exact question that was on
it was on the video. But I don't think he showed the steps like I'm forcing you to show them. Step 3 is to actually simplify 5 squared and get 25. 12 squared is 144 equals c squared. Better be writing this down correctly.
I am thinking.
Not yet.
No,
We'll get there. Not quite. So the fourth step is to actually add. So we get 169 equals c squared.
How did you get 144?
12 times 12 is 144.
Oh.
So it's not 12 times 2, it's 12 times itself.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
And then if you remember, we multiply c times c to get c squared. So we are going to take the square root of both sides so that I have c by itself. And then my last step then is that my answer is 13. 6 points for that problem. Because, okay, I'm going to show you guys something in a second on the calculator. All right. So on your Desmos calculator, you would put square root symbol and then 169, and that tells me that 13 times 13 gives me the 169. If I wanted to square something on here, I would hit the 12, and then I hit this a squared, a to the second power, and then that tells me it's 144. It might be an x, but it's most times an a. All right. So that's our finding hypotenuse. How many points possible? 6 points possible.
I was gonna say 13, but that was.
Go ahead and write that underneath your answer. 6 points possible.
So it's like a point each step.
I'm sorry?
So it's like a point for like each step.
Point for each step. Easy points, easiest points you'll ever get. Most frustrating points you'll ever lose if you don't show all the steps. You hear that, Noah?
What?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. You're going to miss the steps. Go quick.
Wait, which one? What's our test over?
Probably after next week. So like
2 weeks.
probably like Tuesday the 8th. No. Tuesday, yeah. Tuesday the 8th.
So like a week and a half.
Yep.
Oh, I have a question. Is smaller bowlers already over?
No, there's a couple more weeks of Sunday classes. There's like this week and next week. And then that's Riley's moving to Mondays. But you said that Bentley's not moving to Mondays. No. I know. Like that. Remember, I have to have a friend to get him there because I can't. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do this triangle now. Oops.
Finding leg.
Finding leg length.
It's 11.
Notice that I'm trying to draw the right triangles in all different directions, right? Because they don't have to only look one way. When I taught 4th grade, I'm not making this up, this actually happened, I drew it backwards and the kid asks if it was called a left triangle. And I was like, well, that's clever, but no, it's still a right triangle. Because he had in his mind it only looked one way, right? So I drew it like this. So most times we draw a right triangle like this, right? So I drew it like this. And he asked if that was a left triangle. He was 9. He was 9. It's actually pretty clever. Really. 4th graders are 9. Right?
They're 9.
9 and they turn 10.
4th graders are 9?
Graders are 9?
They turn 10.
Oh.
Yep.
Wait.
I used to be 9 years old.
Oh, really?
I used to be 9 years old too, so.
Really?
Okay, here we go with our steps. Also, one more thing that I'm going to tell you guys a little different from the video yesterday. When you're doing Pythagorean theorem to find a leg length, it's very clear that it doesn't matter what you choose for your A or your B, right? This could have been written 12 squared plus 5 squared, okay? When it comes to finding either A or B, I always leave A as the variable. The reason I do that is because B looks like a 6. And I do have students that will leave the B there, and then all of a sudden they get to the end and they have like something plus 36 equals something. And they're like, I don't know where this 36 came from. Well, it's because you used B, and your B looked like a 6. So my advice is to always solve for A when you're trying to find a leg length. It won't be counted wrong if you solve for B. However, if your handwriting is not the clearest, you might want to save yourself the trouble and use A. You know who you are. Okay, first step, same thing. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Always going to have to write the formula. Got it, Rylan? Now I've got A squared plus 15 squared equals 17 squared. How did I know that 17 was my hypotenuse?
Because it was on the opposite side.
It's opposite
Why didn't
here.
you added 9 squared? Or, oh, that's an A.
It's A.
Oh, I wrote like 9.
How are we doing? Aiden, you getting all this written down? Jackson? Getting all this written down? Okay. You know I know you have an earbud in, right? Okay. Making sure. All right, number 3 step, I'm going to have A squared plus 225 equals 289. Where did I get 225 from?
15 times 15.
Good. 17 times 17, right? Here's the extra step. Who remembers from the video what I have to do now that's different than hypotenuse? Hannah. Yep. So my 4th step here is to subtract the 225 from both sides. And my 5th step is now I'm left with A squared equals 64.
Then we do the square root.
All right. Now I'm going to do square root of A squared equals square root of 64. A equals 8. So there are 7 points possible for Pythagorean theorem. Nope. All right, go to the next page.
use our calculators on
You definitely need your calculators out. Use your Desmos calculators, not your phone ones, or I'm taking your phone.
But for math.
I need you guys practicing the Desmos calculator.
I have the Desmos calculator on my phone. I mean, serious, I can show you.
Let me see it.
I can show you right now.
Let's try. I have the Desmos calculator. I have Desmos calculator on my phone.
See, look.
I actually do.
My
I
phone is
downloaded
more
this app.
an education. Desmos.
Okay.
See.
Okay. What am I solving for here? A, B, or C?
C.
C. How do you know that?
There's no C.
There's no
Because it's not there.
number.
But also because you know this is the hypotenuse, and so you're solving for C. So I'm going to give you the first step. You have to do the rest by yourself. You got this. You got this. Show all 6 steps, please. Yes, sir.
Is 24 times 4, 96?
Yes. But you don't, that shouldn't be something you're doing.
Just 24
Yeah,
times 24.
I can, 24 times 4 and 24 times 20 will give you 24 times 4.
You do you, man. That's some partial products right there. You do you. Don't forget 4 times 4.
4 times 4.
You have to also add the 4 times 4 in there, because 4 times 4. You have to do 20 times 4, 20 times 20, 20 times 4, and 4 times 4.
24 times 4 and 24 times 20.
Okay, you do you. It'll work.
Oh, dude.
It's just 96
I know you did it in your head. I didn't see it on the paper. Here, you should have 625 equals 6 squared, then squared, then. I know it. Okay, I'm like super picky.
Done.
Great. So now you're gonna add this together.
I did that right.
Sure did. Okay. How'd we do? 2 thumbs up? Okay, one more question and then we're done. Comes my. We do have enough time.
I'm not sure.
We have 3 minutes. That is plenty of time.
No, it's not.
What am I going to solve for here? A, B, or C?
A, B.
A. Good job. You can solve for B. Remember, it looks like a 6, so I advise you not to, but as long as you know you're solving for a leg, that's a win. Yes,
Is 20 times 24?
sure is. doing? Not gonna check your work? Well, but
Yay.
I do it?
Yes.
Oh, I put B instead of A, whatever.
that's okay. Please stack your binders vertically. Mia, will you pick up those two that are horizontal, please?
What?
Thank you. Like stack the other two up for me. Thank you.